Hello all you people out there in TV land. My name is CB Studios, also known as Kurt, and today I'm going to give you a look at how I've put together my Scream 3, Scream 4 era Ghostface costume. I'm going to give you a look at some of the props and accessories I've got, some tips on how to dress with your costume, and just an overall look at one of my favorite pieces that I've created this year. Let's check it out. To start off, a little backstory. Ghostface is the main killer from the Scream series, which now spans 5 movies. Scream 1 in 1996, Scream 2 in 1997, Scream 3 in 2000, 2011 gave us Scream 4, and then at the start of this year, in 2022, we got Scream 5. The costume itself hasn't changed a whole lot. There are different masks used throughout the films. Not any that, unless you're a giant nerd like some of us are, that you really recognize, different sculpts and that sort of thing. Speaking of masks, let's talk about the masks. This is my main mask. It is a 2016, I believe, EU. 2017, January to March. All genuine Fun World masks will have nice little tags sewn into the hood that have the manufacturer dates. This is a beautiful glow-in-the-dark EU. It's pretty rough. Which is why I use it as my costuming mask, as it's a little bit of a beater. It still smells like vanilla, which is really, really nice, and it's very, very comfortable to wear. It has some especially dark eye mesh, as you can see. You can barely see the styrofoam head that's underneath this, this mask, and it's very, very comfortable to wear. One of the things that I'll do with any of these sort of masks, if I am going to use them specifically for costume, and they are designed as a beater, maybe they have little runs and things like that in the back of the fabric, is I will stitch a small patch of Velcro to the top of the mask, and you will see why there is a small patch of Velcro stitched to the top of that. One of my favorite mask designs is the TD mask, which is used as reshoots in Scream 4. Now this one originally started off as a bib style costume mask, so instead of having the full shroud, it just had a bib attached to it. And I've stitched a new shroud onto this, and it is really, really nice. It's a brilliant, bright, glossy white material, which is really, really cool. Really nice shiny mouth too. And this is one of my favorite mask designs and variants that's used in Scream 4. When I say that there's a bunch of different masks that are used throughout the films, this is an example of one. So whenever I want to do proper Scream 4, that's where this guy comes in. One of the lesser known things about Ghostface's costume is that it's not just a plain black fabric. It's especially noticeable in scenes where there is a lot of downlight on Ghostface. The Ghostface's robe is actually made out of a sparkle material. Very similar, not the same, but very similar to this. As you can see there, it is quite glittery. Especially noticeable in the scenes in Scream 1 when they're in the garage. One of the things that it was used for, at least in my belief, is it makes all of the highlights, so anything that's being downlit or backlit, really, really shiny and bright, and then your shadows go really, really dark black. I was super lucky and found this fabric at my local fabric store, Spotlight, here in Australia. And it is a stretch glittered jersey in black. And it does have a content of lurex through it, which is the silver flecking that you see. It's quite stretchy. It's very, very comfortable. It's quite heavy. It's about 3 times the weight of the 25th anniversary masks, if you guys have ever felt that. And it is the fabric that I used to make my 25th anniversary mask, my custom one. I'll drop a video link down in the description. This is a really, really nice heavyweight fabric. It drapes really, really nicely. And so I bought 4.5 meters. And I built my own. And here we go. This is my Ghostface robe. It's really big, it's oversized. I'll throw some pictures in here as I explain things. But the way that I built this was using photos from one of the Scream used robes that was sold from Scream 4, sold by the Prop Store of London several years back. And I copied the design using an extra large sized Fun World robe that was the Scarecrow robe. I quite liked the fit and the cut of. The size was just about right to make a nice, big, oversized Ghostface robe. I custom patterned the hood, so it does have a hood attached, and the hood has a very, very nice thick piece of foam in the top that gives it that quintessential Ghostface look. We have sleeves attached with the trademark drapes on the sides, and we have gloves attached. It has Velcro that splits right down the front, goes down to about the navel, which is where the real one sort of ends, and then the bottom edges are the Scream 4 tassels. So it's basically just cut into little rectangles, little squares. So I custom made this pattern and I'm really, really happy with it. It's all been overlocked and double stitched. It's really nice and sturdy. It's incredibly comfortable to wear at a convention. It is quite heavy, probably weighs about 1.5 kilos to 2 kilos, or 4 pounds in if you speak freedom. And I really like how this looks on. So I'm gonna pop this on. So now I've got my robe on, and you'll be asking, but Kurt, your hands. And yes, in the sleeves of this costume, this outside edge where the drapes attach, I have a slit. So I can get my hands out and I can use them to pick things up, or I can drink margaritas at conventions and rustle up my hair or whatever the fuck is going on there. And then I can just slip them back in and into the gloves, and I've got full range of motion, and the seams are relatively hidden. And so this just sits on, and as I said, it Velcros down the front. You can do the reveal like Roman does in Scream 3. And just Velcros all the way back up. And then we have quite the large... Velcro loves this fabric. And we have quite a large hood. Which sits really, really well. And I'm very happy with how that looks. Next up, Ghostface needs footwear. For Ghostface, footwear is very simple, but incredibly complex at the same time. If you're going for screen accurate, there are a bunch of different people that are trying to find the screen used or screen worn boots from Scream 1. So far, they haven't been able to find them. Nate Reagan's YouTube channel, he's got a beautiful video on the screen used Scream 3 costume, including a hero mask, Roman's end of movie robe, and a pair of boots worn by the stuntman. He's got the brand up on there. It's fantastic reference. Prop Store of London did sell a pair of boots with their Scream 4 screen used robe. Those boots have been identified. And then the boots for Scream 5 have also been ID'd. And once again, Nate Reagan has shared the information with us, and they are Doc Martens in complete black. There's no yellow stitching. So for my Ghostface, I have 2 pairs of boots because I like to be a little bit extra. My first ones I have are a pair of vintage Vietnam era jump boots. They are really, really nice. I've had these for nearly 20 years. They are beautiful boots, great for any sort of slasher movie villain. I wear them for my Michael Myers, my Freddy Krueger, and now my Ghostface, because they just look like stompy, evil Ghostface boots. And they're incredibly comfortable because I spent 20 years breaking them in. Your next option is you can go the tactical route and try and mimic the look from Scream 4. Honestly, nobody's looking at your boots, but if you really wanted to do that, you can pick up a cheap pair of tactical boots like these off eBay or Amazon. I think these are about $35, and they're a fairly close match to the original screen used boots. They're not perfect, but they are black boots, and again, really comfortable, very light, very cheap. So, a great option for that. Ghostface would be nothing without his stabby evil death weapon. So, to begin with, we show off Ghostface's knife. Now this is a genuine Buck 120. That is the correct type of knife used in all the Scream films. Scream 2 had an aluminium custom made one. Scream 3 went back to the Buck knife. Scream 4 again had a custom knife. It was much, much longer in the blade and a little bit eviler, and a little bit more evil. And then I believe Scream 5 went back to the classic Bucks. You can get these. They are still around. They've been making them for decades. They're really, really nice knives. This one came sharp. I have taken the edge off it because it's incredibly dangerous. It is still a hunting knife. What I did was I actually cast a resin version of this. I use a resin one whenever I go to conventions. It's covered in blood and looks all nice and evil. Can't stress this enough. Don't take a metal knife to conventions. Funworld last year with Spirit Halloween have brought out a really, really nice similar knife to the Buck 120. It's quite a thin blade, but a really, really accurate shape. They were about $15 to $20. Absolutely grab one of those this Halloween season if you need a knife for your Ghostface. Your other options do include buying resin or rubber ones from makers like Workbench Designs, who make some fantastic ones. If you're in the Ghostface collectors groups, there's a bunch of people in there that make custom knives, and they look absolutely beautiful. Every now and again, I'll do custom knives, or I'll do resin ones. Not a whole lot, not often. Please don't email me asking, but have a look in those groups if you ever want one. You do have a couple other options. You can use your standard Halloween plastic knives. They're not accurate, but they are fine. They do have quite a large blade compared to the buck, and obviously a completely inaccurate handle. You can make it a little bit more accurate with a little bit of work. They're great. They're really cheap. They are flexible. You can also get bleeding versions of them, which are classic Halloween stunt prop things. They're almost identical. This one has had all of its blood dry up over time. Typically, these are filled with a bunch of red liquid that mimics blood, and when you go like that, it all drains down. You can also get the officially licensed Ghostface knives. I don't know why you would. I don't know why I did. Probably because it said Ghostface or Scream on it. These are terrible. Stay away from these ones. Go something like this. Go a resin one. Go your classic buck, the Fun World one. They're just a better way to go. One final accessory. Ghostface wouldn't be Ghostface, at least in the first couple of movies, and then in 2022, without the voice changer. Now these little guys, these are not exactly the right voice changes for the original Scream, but they are very close, and they are accurate for the Scream 2022, or at least this one is. You can get these on Amazon or eBay. They are about, I don't know, $20 US. I think I pick them up for just under 30 Australian. They are garbage as far as voice changes go. They don't work, but they do look the part. Now, this one arrived and it was blue, so I have painted it and given it some blood staining to try and match the original Scream style. And then this one is my one that I take to conventions. And why would I take one to conventions that's nice and clean? Well, I added some circuitry into the inside of it, a little sound chip and a board, and I ripped a bunch of audio files. So, now, whenever I'm dressed as Ghostface...
What's your favorite scary movie? Do you like scary movies?
I have Ghostface's voice while I'm dressed up as Ghostface to ask questions and interact with people, just as a nice, neat little touch. It has adjustable volume control, it's USB chargeable, which is awesome fun, and it's a beautiful little hand prop that a lot of people don't expect. So that's about it from me, guys. I think now it's time for me to dress up. It's time for me to put all this on. You guys can see everything that goes together. So at this point, I have my boots, my long black jeans, any black jeans will do. I have my Ghostface robe on. I'm about to put my mask on. One of the things that I really enjoy about costumes is having everything sit correctly. One of the things that I did with this one is I stitched that small piece of Velcro we were talking about earlier into the shroud of the mask. And up in the hood, I don't know if we're going to be able to see it, we might, just there. There's a corresponding strip of Velcro. Now make sure when you do that, the hook side of Velcro goes on the mask and then the loop side goes in the hood so it doesn't scratch the fuck out of your shroud. But that just allows me to stick the hood in place. It doesn't fall down when you're running. Really, really nice. I do recommend only doing that to a beta mask, so a mask that you intend to get damaged or wear. Something that you don't do it to your precious Gen 1s, that's a terrible idea.
Forget watching Stab. Instead, you get to live it. I want to play a game. This is the last person you're ever gonna see alive. of which, let's play a little game. Answer right, you live. Answer wrong, you die.
So there you go, guys. That's a look at my Ghostface costume from the Scream franchise. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to see more Scream content, don't hesitate to give me a comment down below. I'd love to hear about what you think of this. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment as well. I try to reply to everything. Other than that, subscribe to my channel. I'm only 30 subscribers away from hitting 100. I can finally change my fucking URL, which would be awesome. If you want to see more Scream stuff, if you want to see more horror stuff, tell me. The more you tell me, the more I'm going to be able to show you. Thanks very much for watching, guys. And until next time.
What's your favorite scary movie?